Whether you are trying to change your life, accomplish a goal, or complete a project, knowing what to do and getting yourself to actually do it are the two core things at the heart of success. It takes both knowing what to do and actually doing it to succeed at anything. Knowledge alone doesn't accomplish much. Knowledge plus action is what changes the world. Since so much of our life and our actions are defined and created by our habits, if we can control our habits, we can largely control our life. Anchoring internal systems, rituals, goal-seeking mechanisms, and mindfulness are just some of the hot topics when it comes to success and achievement these days. But the experts often forget one thing: if it isn't fun, we won't do it, or at least not for long. When I teach success and I coach people, I use these modern techniques, but I put in a little fun, and it makes the success process fun. Who wouldn't want to do the things that bring success if they were fun? The letter P is an old friend. What could be more fun than the letter P? When you were a child, you learned that P stands for porpoise and penguin. P is for pig and for pumpkin. P is for purple and popcorn. P is for parties and playtime. P is for parrots and pirates, parades and pom-poms. P words even sound fun. When you think back to childhood, P was one of the really fun letters. As a strategic life coach, I have found it is much easier, tremendously easier, even unbelievably easier, to get people to do things that are fun than things that are tedious, boring and dull. For years I have called on the letter P for help. As you read this article, see how many times you can find a word that begins with the letter P or has P somewhere in the word. I dare you. Purpose. Decades ago, Napoleon Hill said no sane person does anything without a purpose, and psychologists still agree today. You need a reason why to get off the couch and do something. If you are going to get off of that couch and do something, your reason why is the purpose you are doing something. Anthony Robbins calls reasons, whys and purposes your fuel for action. Without a compelling purpose or enough reasons why we should do something, we just run out of fuel and go back to our old way of living. When someone comes to me to learn how to make money and build wealth, I often have them write down 40 reasons why they must become wealthy before I will work with them. I don't want someone to say they want an expensive car in 40 different ways. I want to hear what they would become if they were wealthy, what they would do, and what they would have that they can't do and have now. I want to know who they would help, where they would travel, what differences they would make in the world. You might be surprised at how many quit before they get to 40, and I never hear from them again. On the other hand, the ones that do make it to 40 come back with a new look in their eyes and new timbre in their voice. They have real purpose in their life and the drive to achieve goals now. What is your purpose? What is the purpose to your life? Know that, and the purpose to your goals becomes clear. When you know your purpose in life, you may even change many of your goals to align with that purpose. Plan. When you start your money-making project, you will need a plan. A plan is similar to strategy, and strategies are like recipes for creating things we want outside of the kitchen. When you get up in the morning, you will need a plan to know what to do today, what ingredients to use, and how to mix them. If you were in the kitchen and you wanted to make a pumpkin pie, you would use a recipe, and it would tell you what ingredients to use and in what order to mix them, as well as all of the other instructions you needed to make a pumpkin pie. A good plan will tell you what to do and which step is next. Just like a recipe for a pumpkin pie, a good plan will be in perfect alignment with your purpose. Here is the purpose of a plan in a peanut shell. You use a plan to answer questions. When you have a good plan, it will answer these questions. What do I do next? How do I do it? How am I doing? If your plan doesn't answer these questions, you need to work on your plan. Preparation. You have to prepare to make money. In some ways you are already prepared, and in others you will need to work on preparation. If your money project involves direct sales, you might need to study things like rapport building and closing the sale. If it involves making something, you might need to study manufacturing methods, Often preparation involves learning something new. You will probably need a place to do your work. Will you need a store or a computer? Maybe you will need a sales staff and will have to hire and train them. Preparation also involves people and things in your environment. Are you going to work on your kitchen table or in an office? In either case, you will probably have to do some preparation for that to work. Even a yard sale requires preparation. Some years ago, I remember my wife calling me in a panic. She had got together with her girlfriends and they were having a huge yard sale. The problem was they didn't have money to make change when someone didn't have the correct amount for the purchase. Over a month of planning, hours of work, signs and advertising, but they weren't fully prepared. Of course, I took them some money for change. She told them that is why she married me. I often see people go into business without sufficient preparation for a good yard sale. When a team plays to win, they prepare to win. They practice, they prepare, they polish their skills, they plan and work on that plan. You may have heard the saying, plan the work and then work the plan. That makes for good preparation. Platform. If you are familiar with what I teach, you know I teach that money is made by exchange. One person or party has a product or service they want to sell and another has money they are willing to exchange for that product or service. When the two come to terms on things like price, delivery and warranty, the exchange is made. For this to happen, you must have some form of platform. A sales platform does several things and can be as simple as a lemonade stand or as complicated as a $5 million internet marketing and sales platform. First, a sales platform is a way for you to get your message out. You want people to know you have products, to understand the benefits and know the price so they can decide to buy. If you are afraid to publish your price, then you really are afraid you haven't communicated sufficient value to justify that price. You want people to have the information that will make the exchange of money for your products possible. You must have a way to persuade them to buy your products. The first duty of a sales platform is to get the message out. This could be a sign, an advertisement in the newspaper, a commercial on radio or television, a message on the internet, or even a direct sales pitch. On the internet, you have the options of Facebook, AdWords, YouTube, and many more outlets to broadcast your message. You could also have a website where pictures and videos of your products are displayed. You could use social media to direct people to your website. Posting your message to media outlets like these is part of your platform for internet sales. A sales platform also has to make the exchange physically possible. You have to be able to accept the money and deliver the product. You could use merchant services to process bank and credit cards, or you could use the newer services like PayPal and Square. You have to deliver the products, and this could be as simple as putting it in a bag and handing it to the customer, or you might have to ship it in a box or send a download link. Your platform has to deliver in more ways than one. We don't like to talk about it, but there will be problems. You will need a way for your platform to handle customer complaints and returns. Your platform will need a process to handle these. You will need customer service in your platform. Just a quick question. How many P's have you found so far? Products. It probably looks like it goes without saying, if you are going to exchange something for money and pay the bills, you have to have a good product, but this gets overlooked as well. It can't just be any product. It has to be the product your customer wants. There has to be a demand and sufficient profit margin to support the business on the volume of sales created by the demand. I live in a small town. When they widened the main road, we recently got our second traffic light. After that, the state wanted to remove the first one. We kept it, but after 6 in the evening it just flashes as a caution light. I live in a small town, and a small town doesn't have many customers. A few years ago, a bed and mattress store opened on the main highway. Knowing what I know about business, I said it wouldn't stay open 6 months. I was wrong. It didn't stay open 3 months. How often do you buy a new bed and or a new mattress? I have a nice 4-post bed that I have had for about 30 years and it looks like new. I don't take it out of the bedroom much and get it dirty or wear it out on the highway. I have bought a few mattresses in the last 30 years for that bed. Maybe two, but the box springs is a high quality one and I don't think we ever changed it. When we bought it, the box springs had a lifetime guarantee, but I doubt they had to replace many of them. What I am saying is, if you are going to sell beds and mattresses, you had better be in a pretty big city with plenty of customers. If you expect to stay in business, you must have a product that is in demand. That product must support a volume and a profit margin that will support the company. Since demands change and you can saturate markets, you should always be looking for or creating new products. Promotion. You have to promote something if you want to create demand for it. When I was growing up, we had pet rocks, plastic troll dolls, and Chia Pets. They were all crazy fads. You may not remember it, but we saw lots of commercials and advertising that promoted each of these products. You can't start a fad in a showbox. You have to get it out in the open. Even something that has all of the qualities that qualify it for fad status with the public still has to be promoted to the public so they can create the fad. You must promote not only your product, you must promote you or your platform as the best way your prospect can obtain your product. I see a lot of advertising in my work as a consultant where businesses promote products and create demand for them, and then the prospect goes to the discount store to buy the products instead of buying them from the business that paid for the advertising. This is the equivalent of paying for your competition's advertising and business. When I point this out, some business owners get sick. Don't get sick over your promotions. Promote you along with your product. Pulling it all together. Write down on paper your purpose and plan for making money. You need to go into as much detail as is reasonably possible. Think of this as making a map for your business. You want a good map before you get lost in the woods, so make a good map now. When things in life change, then change your map and stay on track with your purpose. Next, write down these 5 words on an index card. Planning, preparation, platform, products, promotion. When you get up every morning or whenever you start your day, take out this index card with these 5 keywords and you work on them each and every day. That is the key to success in business. You plan to make money. You prepare to make money. You create and maintain a platform for making money. You plug products into that platform and then you promote your products and your business. Do this every day. I do church work on Sunday, but Sunday morning early or Sunday evening late I am going over my 5 P's. Even on my days of rest I review these 5 P's of business profit and business success. Here is something for free that will serve you well if you use it, and it's so valuable I teach it in my $10,000 coaching program. Exercise your good habits. When I started exercising again after a lengthy illness, I found there were times I wasn't physically well enough to exercise. Skipping days of exercise soon meant I wasn't exercising at all. It didn't take long for me to see this wasn't working. After some thought, I went back to exercising with a new idea. If I couldn't exercise my body, I would exercise my exercise habit. Even if I had the flu or a bad cold, I would go down to the exercise room and sit on the exercise bike. I might slowly pedal 1 or 2 rounds of the pedals in a pitiful sort of way. I might not even put my feet on the pedals, but every 24 hours I was on that exercise bike. Then I would go back to bed or do whatever I had to do as I continued my recovery. In a month I had a pretty strong and healthy exercise habit, and in another month I was much stronger and healthier as a result of that habit. Exercise your good habits. At the least review your 5 P's every day. Make the 5 P's a habit, and they will make you a profit. One more thing, print out this article and review it frequently. From now on, anytime you see the letter P, it will remind you of these 5 P words for profit, and you will return to them and this article to stay on track. By the way, how many letter P's did you see?